Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jack 2 Renegade on the Sony PlayStation 3. I am One Wild Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be finishing off the rest of the races. We're going to be doing the last racing minigame at the stadium area of the city. And, compared to the second and first race, I don't find this race as much of a challenge to beat, you know. It's still harder than the second, but compared to the first one, I don't know, I don't have that much trouble with this race.
I'll show you guys what I've been working on if you promise not to laugh.
Ooh, I love surprises, and I love to laugh. Show me, show me.
I've been building a replica of our crashed rift riding machine from old artifacts.
That's my girl.
But I'm still missing 2 pieces.
Figures.
Vince says I need an artifact called the Time Map and an old energy gem history books called the Heart of Mar. And I've looked in every book on precursor history I can find, but the rift ring seems to have vanished.
You did all this? I mean, that's useful.
Oh, will you two stop moping around and make up already?
I've seen the Heart of Mar. Crew has it. We'll get those 2 artifacts, Kira.
Attention all drivers. The Class 1 championship race is about to begin.
Well, here goes. The race of my life.
Jack, I just wanted you to know, well, you're the best racer I've ever seen.
Hey, what about me? I helped get us here.
Do you want to drive?
Against that crazy loon arrow? No way! You got the handlebars, brother. And you'd better keep us alive or I will never speak to you again. Obviously.
Leave him in the dust, Jack.
I love that, obviously. Needless to say, don't worry, Daxter, because I've got a handle on the situation. I am the best racer, bar none. Get it? Handle, bar. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
More than just to win, eco-freak. I want you! Greetings, racers! Today, your nerve and skill will be tested for our amusement. If any of you should by some small chance beat our grand champion, Harold, then you will be awarded a month's supply of eco! And a short tour of my palace to see how the other half live. Good luck, and die bravely. Ready? Get set!
A month supply. That's not very much at all. It'll be gone in a month. No. But anyway, this is the 3rd racetrack, and as you can probably guess, the AI is definitely ramped up for this racetrack, folks. And the racetrack itself is probably the hardest out of the lot. But I still always find myself having more trouble with the first racetrack, and I'm guessing it's probably because at this point in the game, I'm already used to the controls of racing, you know, I'm used to how things work. So, I just find it a little bit easier to deal with, honestly. But it is a very tricky track, and you do need to take all of these shortcuts, otherwise you will not be able to beat Errol or the other racers. You will not be able to win this race without taking the shortcuts. And throughout the entire time in this racetrack, you're going to be basically right next to the guy in 1st and 2nd place, you know. This is basically a massive race between all 3 of you guys in the top 3 positions. So maybe 4 positions as well, it depends. It depends how good the AI of the guy in 4th place gets. Like, he's catching up with me quite well, but yeah. But seriously, this is tricksy. And again, I don't think it's the track that causes this one to be tricksy. This one's actually tricksy purely because of the AI. And the AI does have some pretty bad rubber band AI going on, you know? Like, if then behind you, they will speed up. So just be a bit careful, and whenever you reach certain parts of the track, just boost. Basically, pay attention when I'm boosting and boost at the same time, and you should get through without too much of a problem. Now, fortunately, I think Errol sort of glitched by there, so he's a bit behind. But if you look at the mini-map at the bottom of the screen, you can see that the racers are catching up quite quickly, despite the fact I would literally nowhere near them a minute ago, you know? Some pretty mean rubber band AI. But I do recommend keeping 3 boosts on you at all times, and always using the boosts on one of 3 areas. And basically is where there's straights, you know, if there's a straight line, that's basically your best time to use the boosts. If you're coming up to a turn, don't use the boost. You will boost into the wall and you will either die or have a bit of trouble, you know? Like, this is a very good room to boost in because it's the way it's designed, but try not to boost as well when you're coming up to a ramp. Because when you come up to a ramp, if you're going too fast, you will fly off it. You will just go miles in the sky. And it's kind of awkward, but yay, we won.
Thank you very much. Mwah! I love my public.
A brave man of the people. And who is this worthy opponent? In my world, good men are either bought or broken. So which is it going to be?
Surprise.
What?
Just a little closer. We need to talk.
Fool! Don't you get it? It's over, Jack. All the heroes died long ago. Only survival remains, by whatever means. This city is mine. These lives are mine. This war is mine. And in war, people die. Kill it. Look out! I win, Jack.
No, the blue eco. We could have opened many a doorway with that. We could have collected so many items, but no, Errol had to go and destroy the whole lot along with his own body. Whoop-de-doo. Good going, Errol. You really are Errol. Now, one thing I actually haven't brought up is those little hologram things. Now, throughout the city, you're going to see loads of hologram icons that I've completely ignored for the sake of the LP, and I'm not going to show them off really during this playthrough because they're really kind of pointless. But if you can go up to them, basically what they serve to be is they're loads of side missions. You can do these side missions and you can get precursor orbs as rewards, and I'm not a big fan of them, you know, because it's usually you activate the side mission and most of the time it's usually get from point A to point B within X seconds, you know. I'm not a big fan of them, so I'm just going to ignore them for the sake of this LP. Sorry if you wanted to see those, I just don't see the point in showing them off, you know? If you guys want to see them, buy the game. Or watch another LP that does them, but I don't think many LPs of this game actually do those side missions, you know? So, just buy the game. It's a good game, you know, I recommend buying it, so... That's one of the reasons why I have this YouTube channel in the first place, show off games I love and try and convince people to buy them. One of the reasons, I have like 5 different reasons to do on YouTube. The biggest one being, I enjoy it! So, but that's beside the point. Anyway, it's time to head all the way to the palace for our exclusive tour. And basically what's coming up is one of the more, shall we say, awkward, well, not even awkward, just it's one of the more fun sequences in the game, because it's basically a giant platforming level, and of course this is a game being a platformer, giant platforming levels are really appreciated. But yeah, it's one of my favourite levels actually, now that I think about it. It is really good level coming up, so I had the clearance door just open, there we go. This just the last time we were in years back in God knows how many parts ago when we fought the second boss of the game. Such a long time ago. Wait, not the second, the first boss of the game. Second boss of the game we beat not long ago. Huh. Oh well. Time to get our gun at the ready, and I believe there's a cutscene coming up first, so don't worry about that. And this turret, be scared of it. Be very scared of it. I'm joking, it's not really that terrifying at all, but yeah, I digress.
I shouldn't have trusted you.
Back where we started, huh?
Don't play with me. All along you've been trying to undermine our war with the metalheads. Whose side are you on?
Listen, Ashlyn, your father's planning something terrible, and if
My father can destroy the metalhead armies once and for all.
he cracks open the precursor stone, the explosion will kill all of us. Don't you get it?
That's right. Not so hard, huh? Even I can figure this one out.
Don't you move. Vin, come in.
What? I've got my hands full here, you know.
You know all about the precursor stone myth, right?
Sure. I did my economic energy doctorate on Precurian theoretical physics. Why?
What would happen if the precursor stone were to be, say, violently cracked open?
Great. As if I didn't have enough to keep me awake at night, you give me one more thing to dread. Thank you very much. If someone actually had the stone, according to my calculations, a runaway eco search and cracking open would theoretically destroy everything.
Everything?
All things. Every single thing. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go throw up. Bye-bye.
Trust me, Ashlyn. We have to stop him.
I'll try to find out more. But right now, my father is meeting crew at a secret weapons factory near the dig. Here, that's my top-level security pass. It'll get you into the factory, but it won't get you back out. We never had this conversation.
Don't worry, we've got enough weaponry to disable Canada. I don't know why I chose Canada specifically, but we have enough weaponry to disable Canada. So trust me, we're fine. I'm pretty certain we can get out of that base. But yeah, we got a lot of platforming coming up, folks. This is a massive platforming level, and it's a very annoying platforming level. Now, now what I recommend is simply getting the gun and shooting the enemies before doing this platforming sequence by here, because otherwise, while you're in the middle of the jumps, these enemies by here will have a tendency to shoot you in the air, and the knockback will probably kill you. So just be a bit careful, knock out all the enemies, and take this at a pretty slow and reasonable pace, and that's all I can really say about it. You know, I like this mission, it's pretty interesting. Watch out for the turret, because obviously if you get hit by the turret, you're gonna die, so just use this pole as cover, and huzzah. Jesus Christ. Now, there are tons of enemies by here, but don't worry, they all have the aim of an everyday stormtrooper, so if you continue shooting at them, chances are they'll go down pretty damn quickly. Although, what I find strange is that a lot of these goons, they drop Peacemaker ammo, and I don't know why. There's always these particular mooks that I find dropping this ammo, this gun, and I'm surprised I don't use the Peacemaker weapon more, because it is the most powerful weapon in the entire game. You know, it can destroy enemies, it can not so much destroy bosses, but it does a good damage on them, so I'm surprised I don't use it more. I guess it's kind of awkward to aim, because you don't have like a laser sight or anything like that, but now I think about it, the only gun that does have a laser sight is a blaster, so yeah, I don't know, I digress. But anyway, a bit awkward, but there you need to jump on a tiny rail and grind across it. It's a lot harder to do than it looks, trust me for that, folks. It's just, not fun times at all. But hey, remember that turret I mentioned earlier on? Well, we can simply walk past it. The turret's kind of meaningless. You know, it's quite weird that we actually have to take this platforming challenge, really, you know, it's... The exit's right there. Can we just sort of hack the door to let us out of the exit, instead of us going through this incredibly convoluted way? I don't know, it could just be me wanting an easier time, but yeah, I get platformer taking this direction, so I don't mind too much. Anyway, be sure to shoot that little no, it's not really little. Shoot the giant ring that's above you anyway for another grindy section. I got a weird feeling they've taken a lot of the platforming ideas for this level out of Ratchet and Clank or the Sonic the Hedgehog games, because the grinding you need to do. Granted, the grinding in Ratchet and Clank and Sonic the Hedgehog handle completely different to the grinding in this game, because in those games you're literally grinding on like your feet. You have soap shoes or something, which... Can you still buy soap shoes actually? Because the last time I heard about that type of shoe was back in the 90s. Jesus, I feel old. Makes it strange how Sonic can grind on rails without soap shoes these days, but I'm getting ahead of myself. That's something I want to bring up later down the line in a Sonic LP, but let's just continue moving onwards. And I guess it makes sense, because that Jack has to use the hoverboard to grind, because Ratchet has to use a special kind of shoe to grind, you know? Doesn't matter anyway. Now, don't jump across here right away. Wait for the door to open first, because otherwise, because the doors are masked, loading screen, you'll be sort of stuck then. You have to hope to God the door opens by the time you reach it, otherwise you're going to fall to your death. But upon reaching the door, we're done. Yay, we're exiting the the palace. Which means it's now time for us to head on back to the port, because...
You are right, Jack. What my father's doing is wrong. I need to help fix this. If you get to the weapons factory, maybe we can stop him. I'll meet you there.
Sail off there.
Right, before Ashley interrupted me. Next thing we need to do now is go back to the port to get onto that aircraft yet again, because she's given us access to the weapons factory, which actually gives us a new enemy type that we're not going to see much of in this game, but they are going to be used quite a bit in the sequel Jak game, Jak 3, so foreshadowing, I guess. This is the only point in this game where you see this new type of mook, so just go in. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this part. So thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, don't be sheepish, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye!